Midweek saw another round of dramatic matches culminating in the sacking of Steven Gerrard as Aston Villa manager. We've 4 cracking games for you tonight with plenty of drama for Martin Keown and Danny Murphy to get excited about. Nottingham Forest may have lost narrowly to Liverpool in last season's FA Cup, but this was their first league meeting since 1999. Forest started the day bottom of the league, while Liverpool have found some form after back-to-back wins. At the City Ground, our commentator, Conor McNamara.
Very important win for the club and the city. There's obviously a lot of nice history around the fixture and the fact that we're back in the Premier League. This is definitely a game that the fans would have looked forward to. So for us to win the game, I know, is an important one for many generations of the supporters, and I talked to the players about that. I mean, the heart and soul of the guys. It was always going to be a game of them having a lot more of the ball than us, and we had to be well set up defensively, but we did look dangerous on counter-attack. So we're feeling very satisfied with our work and deserving of it as well.
We're just working every single day. We've put a great performance in today, but it's 3 points. It's not enough. We need to be out of the bottom 3 consistently. We need to be winning games because that's what this club's all about.
I have no idea how we could lose this game, to be honest. Not that we played exceptionally well, but I didn't expect that. Would have been nice if we could have done it, but with all the changes we had to make and the intense week we had behind us, it was clear we have to make a fight of it. Boys did that. We scored from much worse situations after Setby, much. This time we didn't. Either we didn't hit the target or the goalie made a sensational save. But that's it now, and we cannot change it anymore, so from here we go.
It's a day I will never forget. I will always be grateful to Liverpool because they scouted me all the way from Nigeria, and they brought me to achieve my dream. They make me achieve my dream, and it's something I will never forget, and I will always be grateful for them, and for me to score against them as well. It's a day I will never forget, like I said earlier.
No, I never forget that one. Fabulous win, Martin, for Nottingham Forest. Their first in 10 games. What was this most unexpected of victories down to?
Well, definitely their defensive platform. Steve Cooper, Gary's had an awful lot of new signings and it's taking him some time to get it right. But I feel this defensive platform they have now makes them much more difficult to beat. And then they've also got that punch on the attack. They don't just sit there. They will break in numbers. And they did that really well. It's playing a 4-3-3 at the moment. He has experimented with the back 3 as that's what got him promotion. But this is really compact. The lines are close together. The players are in those lines. There's no space at all. And as soon as it's upon them, they pounce, win it in numbers. But this is impressive. When they get the ball now, they're looking to make passes. And that was a problem for them until this point of the season. I think he looked at the setup after the recent game against Leicester and said, look, let's be more difficult to beat. Yates was outstanding in that role. And they run then. Gibbs has got good pace on the break. This is Kouati that's actually trying to get on the end of it, and he's supposed to be sitting. So the message is to get forward when you can, but be compact and close together. The one year up top was an out ball, which I don't think they've had. And again, then they can get bodies forward. And this is really unlucky. Lingard here makes a really good inside run, and he's a bit safe with the shot. But it was just always that message. This is Gomez, a player I admire, gives the ball away there. A 1 year there, takes it off him nicely. Look at the work on the training ground. It's now paying off. Cook will make this run. It's a bit naive from Liverpool. Good quality ball. And then you have to say the ball in is actually top draw, by the way. And Awoniyi is onto it in a flash. And Dijk there is swinging at that, and it's poor defending. But Gary, they've really responded, and that was a fantastic result today for them.
It certainly was. After all the transfers, 20-odd, do you think he's finally found his team or his shape?
I think he's found a good platform to be competitive and get some results now because they were all over the place initially at the start of the season. I think ideally for Steve Cooper, he'll want to be a bit more adventurous going forward as the season goes on. But right now, he's found a system that keeps them in games and has got them points. So well done to him. And I expect to see more from him going forward in the next few weeks.
Despite all that, Liverpool did, of course, have their chances. Most of them seem to fall to Virgil van Dijk.
It was bizarre because obviously you don't expect with Liverpool's quality to have the chances all fall to him.
No.
They were missing players like Diaz, Jota and Nunez. But this one here, for some reason, unbeknown to me, he's tried to play it back. You can see he's looking at Firmino for an easy tap-in.
Go for goal.
Well, normally he does. He's a fantastic header of the ball. This one comes to him again on his left foot. I think he's trying to square that as well instead of hitting it on target and maybe getting a rebound. And this is the easy. It's a brilliant save, don't get me wrong, but he'll expect to score, Van Dijk. And as Jurgen Klopp said, from set plays, they did make chances. Although, in general play, there was an inevitability about the lack of creativity, really.
Do you think that's a bit of an issue? Obviously, they've got numerous injuries at the moment. Lack of strength in depth, possibly? They were missing one or two key players.
I think if you're talking about Thiago and Trent, when you take those two out the 11, you don't really have anyone who has that courage to keep looking up and keep trying to split defences, especially packed defences like that.
I presume Trent was because he's coming back from injury.
Yeah, and he played midweek, so he didn't want to risk him. But I think there is an argument to suggest strengthening midfield. I think there's just bad luck with the forward players being missing. But he's
trying to go with the kids in there, isn't he? Jones, Elliott,
he had no
either
choice.
side. They're not quite ready, maybe, at the moment.
OK. Despite Manchester City suffering their first league defeat last weekend, the omens for Brighton on their trip to the north were not great. They've lost their last 8 visits by an aggregate score of 21-2 and are winless under Roberto De Zerbi. Mark Scott, watch this one.
In Anfield, I'm not happy, but I don't want to speak too much about referee, about the decision, about VAR. I can analyze my team, my quality of play in my team, and I believe if we continue to play in this level, we can win many games.
Just finally, it's the perfect reaction, isn't it, after the defeat at Liverpool? You've gone out and got the win.
Yeah, I think it's always good to show a good reaction after a loss. We show that we always ready to go again, and we've done this for years and years. So I don't know why it would be different now.
There's a few good shiners in the post-match interviews this week. Another victory for Manchester City at home. But let's start, Danny, with VAR. Probably not their best afternoon.
Well, I make no apologies whatsoever for criticising again, because it's bordering on ridiculous now how many obvious decisions they get wrong. You could say today it was evened out, the bad and the good, but this is not given. And when you watch it back, and VAR obviously did, it's a penalty, clear and obvious, I feel. And he was encouraged, he wasn't told to do anything, but let it go. But I think that's a clear and obvious mistake. Then City will feel that they got their just rewards with this one. I think they get this wrong. Again, it wasn't given. But Bernardo Silva here, as we all know when we've played the game, he sticks his leg out to create the contact. It's not a penalty. It's not a penalty.
No.
Now, there will be
certainly not a clear and obvious mistake. Some people might see it as penalty, some people won't.
Might, but
that's not
don't.
the point of VAR.
It's not the point.
No.
And unless it's clear and obvious, they shouldn't be telling him to go to the monitor. So, poor decision, super penalty, of course, from the man himself. But it was poor.
Yeah. Martin, there were some unusual tactics from De Zerbi, something we don't see very often these days.
Yeah, it was.
Man to man.
I quite enjoyed it at first. I think it restricted City, certainly early on.
Right up your street, that would have been, wouldn't it?
Man for man.
Man for man marking.
I absolutely loved that rule. And it worked. It worked very well. And actually, Ederson, though, early on, we know how good he is in possession. And he's coming up here. It's such a high position. But he's got nothing on, literally. And he's trying to just clip this. He takes a little bit of a liberty here. And Welbeck gets on it. And really, if he's just a little bit sharper, I think does better. He can put that one away. But he learns, Gary, so quickly. There's another look at it. There's a different ball now. The same thing again, just a few minutes later. And this is where distribution now is taken to a completely new level. Look at Haaland. They've all gone man for man, but this is like Superman. So if you've got somebody on him, good luck. Good luck, because you're not going to deal with it. Ball over the top. It's a wonderful ball. He barges everybody out of the way and he puts it in the back of the net. But just look at this angle. This is a banana kick. It's just into his path. It's beautiful.
Element of a foul, not just strong.
I think there's an element, but I get it. The referee has officiated this really well. He's let it go. And VAR hasn't intervened, and they're right to do so.
Nor should it on that.
Defenders should be stronger for me there, Webster. You could argue maybe there's a bit of a shove, but it's a wonderful execution because Ederson's ball is just on another level.
He does that quite regularly, doesn't he? Now, Pep said after the game in one of his interviews that he thought De Bruyne was not yet at his best level this season, but he's had 4 more assists than anyone else in the league and he's created 6 big chances. Heaven help everyone if he does find his form.
I'm gobsmacked by it. He mentioned the word dynamism. I mean, he glides past people and gets into positions so easily. He's a joy to watch. Arguably the best midfielder we've ever had in the Premier League. And for once, I can't really see what Pep wants.
I think maybe Pep's playing games.
I think a little bit he is, because his performances have been exceptional.
He probably just knows how to get a little bit more out of him. We'll see. After 3 defeats in a row, Everton needed to return to winning ways as they welcomed Crystal Palace to Goodison Park. Patrick Vieira's side had come from behind to beat Wolves in midweek. Your commentator, Guy Mowbray.
Everton 3, Crystal Palace 0.
I think we were second best in every department of the game, and we saw a team who played with determination to win the game, and we didn't match that level. So we can talk and try to analyze the game, but the basics of the game didn't have today, and it was a bad team performance, yes.
Well, Dominic, first things first, congratulations on the comeback goal. Terrific stuff.
Thank you very much. It's been a long time coming, and one I really enjoyed. You know, I've been looking forward to, I've been watching the lads play from the sideline, and it's been difficult, but I've kept believing, kept working hard, and been waiting for that moment, so it was great to start the game like that.
We have to keep working. Today, of course, it's not the score that we wanted. We didn't perform the way that we wanted, and you have to give Everton a lot of credit. I think they played well, but on the other side, I think we didn't help ourselves with the performance like that today.
No, it certainly wasn't a good day for Crystal Palace, but after the game I spoke to Frank Lampard. Frank, from start to finish, that was an exhilarating performance in many ways from your team. How delighted are you with that performance?
Yeah, I'm absolutely delighted, Gary, because it was everything we needed today. We've been on a tough run of games, which we've competed in, but probably by our standards this season fell slightly below. But today had everything. It had the organisation, it had the aggression and the real energy in the team, and then some real quality goals from us against a really good opposition, so delighted.
Given the World Cup is on the doorstep, I'd like to raise a question about a couple of your players. Firstly, Dominic Calvert-Lewin, obviously he's been fighting to get his fitness, but he came in, he scored today. Gareth was in the crowd. Do you think he can make a late run and get into that squad?
Well, I'm delighted for Dominic, firstly, because I know how much he wants to force his way into that picture. He loves playing for his country. He's been involved many a time before, and this injury's been a huge frustration to him. I think all I would say is the first thing is I won't pick Gareth's team or squad for him at all. But he does know what Dominic can do because he's worked with him before. And I think the only thing really Dominic has to show, which is the priority for me as well, is how good and fit and fresh he is for Everton. And I think today was an absolute all-round performance of what Dominic is. And if he can stay fit, then maybe he can make a case for himself.
I also want to look at the other end of the pitch, Frank. Both Cody and, of course, Tarkowski. That is an area of the England team that has got a bit of a weakness at the moment. Players not playing, etc.
Yeah, well, I can kind of only speak it from what I find of having those two lads in the club. And to be honest, they've absolutely revolutionised the dressing room, if I can say that. Off the pitch, their attitude, their training, their application, it's been really special to see that. And then their performances on the pitch, they've taken us forward, they work well together, and if they've given themselves and done themselves well with a bit of a case today with the way they played in front of Gareth, then great.
Well, you're mid-table, Frank. Worth pointing out you're only 3 points behind Liverpool now.
I know, I think the fans are happy with that today, and it's nice to see the fans feel excited and engaged, and when they see passion and when they see desire and a team together like they saw today, then I think they'll buy in. So yeah, it was a good day for us today.
Well done today. It was an exceptional performance.
Thank you.
And thanks very much for talking to us.
Thank you, Gary. Nice speaking to you. Thank you.
Yeah, terrific win for Frank Lampard and Everton, and a performance really that had a bit of everything, Danny.
Well, it was done under immense pressure after losing 3 games on the spin. Those who know the Everton public, they have high expectancy, and 3 defeats on the spin is not what they want to see. There was some tremendous individual performances. Coleman against Zaha, Tarkowski at the back, and Iwobi in the middle of the park, and of course Calvert-Lewin. But it's that intensity and passion that got the fans on board and got Palace on the back foot. Gordon started it early, as he always does. Calvert-Lewin, there he is, hungry to impress, getting back in, stealing the ball, and then when he gets the ball on the edge of the box, a great bit of skill. And that early goal gave everyone... It's a great goal. Now, the fans are up, everyone's confident, the energy's there, but they hunted in packs. It was all of them. It was the best I've seen Everton play in a long time. Yep. They've got a lovely balance in midfield, those 3 in there, complement each other well. I mentioned Iwobi earlier, he's been sensational this season, arguably their best player. Onana's new, he's starting to find his feet now, more comfortable. The fans are taking to him, brilliant tackle. He was doing that all afternoon. He's been a huge plus for Frank. And this block here from Mykolenko is sensational, and Cody doing what we know he does really well, which is get his body on the line, read situations with his partner Tarkowski. They've got a lovely understanding. Great block just when you need it. And again, the young man Gordon, always willing to put a shift in for his team. And you know the Evertonians love watching that from their players. Tarkowski, for me, has been a brilliant addition. Very sensible in waiting there, not diving in. Protects the goal, gets a little bit of cover, and when he's got his cover behind him, there he makes the tackle. And look at the fans' reception there. He, for me, at the moment, is the best English centre-half we have who's playing regularly. He's been that good.
Yeah, and Cody as well. The two of them got that relationship. Together. It might be something that maybe Gareth was there watching today. You're a centre-half yourself, Martin. What do you rate? How do you rate those?
I think Tarkowski is... I mean, the statistics suggest he's the best.
2 caps 4 years ago, though.
It's a long time ago. I don't think he's going to go with him. I mean, for me, I just look maybe just at pace. I don't want to take anything away from him because I know he's been outstanding. His leadership as well, I really like.
But not even in the squad if some of the lads don't make it.
I don't think we've got a central defender with pace, have we?
Well,
Stones, but he's
Walker. If Walker plays in
I think he's on the bench today.
I mean, it's about getting people back from injury. Dyer's probably the only one at the moment who's playing regularly. Stones is sitting on the bench this afternoon. So there's an awful lot of players we're waiting to come back with. But these two are really catching the eye. And Connor Cody playing in a pair as well. We were told he couldn't play. That's why he left Wolves. They weren't going to play a 3 this season. He's now played very well. So there are players available, Gary, but it's a massive problem for Gareth Southgate.
Indeed.
I have to make a big compliment to my team. If they fight back after the 4th game in 10 days, and you see really the spirit and how they deal with setbacks, really good.
There is very positive signs, you know, that we're going in the right direction. I think you're starting to see more and more of what the manager wants, and you know, we're bringing that onto the pitch.
I think in the end it feels like a loss. Obviously it was a draw, which I think after the first 30 minutes when they dominated, we would have took a draw. So I think overall it's a fair result, but you know, in the end it does feel like a loss.
It seemed to have an immediate effect, changing the shape and bringing Kovacic on.
Yeah, I just felt we needed an extra body in there just to help us try to control that area of the pitch. You know, it wasn't from a lack of trying at all in the first period of the game. It was just, we needed to adjust there. Manchester United played well as well. So I think it probably helped us. And then the boys, like I said, gave everything throughout the game. And when you score as late as you do, there's a feeling that you've dropped points. But in the end, probably over the course of the game, a point's about right.
Honours even, thrilling finale, and quite the tactical battle, Danny.
It was indeed. 2 intelligent managers going head-to-head, making adjustments. United started brilliantly well. They're playing good stuff at the moment. They played the 3 in midfield against Chelsea's 2. You can see the 2 in there. And then you've got Fernandes, Eriksen and Casemiro. And they just kept outnumbering them. They're intelligent players. They kept finding the spare one and getting out onto the Chelsea back 5. And they should have been ahead earlier in the game, Manchester United, with the chances there. Again, Fernandes picking up the ball in that hole. Jorginho and Loftus-Cheek didn't know what to do. Sancho there, just risk it. Put it across with your left foot. You've got Rashford in on the back post. Doesn't quite happen for them. And again here, you can see the close proximity of the United 3. There's the Chelsea 2, and they just couldn't cope with them. But what do good managers do? They react and they admit they've made a mistake. Better touch from Rashford there. He probably just over touches it and takes away the chance. He brings on Kovacic, recognises the mistake, goes to a back 4, puts Chilwell at left back, takes Cucurella off and puts a diamond in the middle of the park, puts Mount on Casemiro, tries to overload the middle of the pitch. And straight away, Chelsea got a foothold in the game. They managed to get higher up the pitch and dominate possession. It was a really, really clever way of quickly getting them back in the game. And the only question maybe is why he didn't. Yeah. And again, winning the ball back higher up. Mount more in the central where he can be more influential, and a little better pass there from Sterling. He could have got in. Just to say on Ten Hag, actually, he did react early in the second half to that, put Fred on for Sancho, which evened up the game, and a draw was about right.
Yeah, probably was. Ten Hag talked about the resilience of Casemiro. I mean, he's made a real difference for them.
Absolute class. I think it's a player that they've been missing for years. Conducts everything in that midfield. The real just sort of defensive brain of the team, and he can pass as well. This is a wonderful ping out here, teasing ball. He's able to do this whenever he gets it. Never ruffled, sniffs out danger, senses things really well, he anticipates. And if you give it to him in a tricky situation, that he can find a pass. Look, just this one here just whips that one out to the wing. He really is important. But look at his anticipation here. Look, gambles, sneaks and wins it, and then he sets them on the way. And this really should have been a goal there. Rashford's touch let him down just a little bit. I just love the way that he gets in front and been perfect. Obviously, I've had lots of defend over the years, midfield players, but no, you see people doing that in front of you. It's brilliant because his positioning is first class.
It's
always
really
in the
good.
right place.
It's really good
for his team, and really then when they need him most as well, he comes to the fore, takes responsibility. That is a wonderful header there. His first goal for United. Look what it means to him.
Yeah. He's not known for his heading. He's scoring goals.
He brought a bit of Real Madrid to the side there, didn't it? That last-ditch goal.
He's a class act, and he knows exactly what he's good at and what his strengths are. And as Martin said, the reassurance he gives others around him is so evident when you watch United play now.
Yeah, it was a good game, a really interesting game of football, wasn't it? Martin, Danny, thank you very much. We're nearly out of time, but before we go, let's have a look at the Premier League table. Manchester City moved to within 1 point of leaders Arsenal, who face Southampton on Sunday. Liverpool have already surpassed the number of league defeats they suffered in the whole of last season and remain 11 points adrift of top spot. Nottingham Forest's first win since the 14th of August lifts them off the foot of the table. Everton's return to form helps them rise up to 11th.